October 5th, 2012, we're all here to celebrate the 50th anniversary of one of the great Ann Arbor High School football teams. That's the team of 1962 that went 8-0, won the mythical state championship, and is highly recognized again as being one of the great teams in Pioneer High School history. I'm Dale Wesley, along with Art Vuolo behind the camera, and we're going to bring you the highlights of this great reunion of the 62 team. Two of the outstanding players from the 62 team. Tell us who we are and what role you play.
Butch Bridges, and mainly the kickoff team. Coach was on my behind regularly.
Well, we did hear earlier that you were part of an interception, were you not?
Yes, I was. I did that.
My name is Kent Leslie, and I carried the ball several times.
I'm retired now. I'm 65. Retired from the post office in Chicago. I recently moved back to Milan. That's where I'm at now. I've been married for 39 years.
I work as a branch manager for Prax Air Distribution in Sparks, Nevada. And I've been married to the same woman for 43 years.
Just want to get your impressions, before we go much further, your fondest memories of this 62 team.
Oh, I don't know. They were all good. They were a great bunch of guys. They were very, very, very quick, and they were very intense. And we had some.
Did you have any idea when the season started that this team had that potential?
Yeah, I think all the years I coached here, every team had that potential, I think. And I coached here 59 through 66, and I think every team felt that they could win it.
I don't know if you knew the circumstances, which Kenton was telling us, in that Battle Creek game, he got hurt almost nearly the last play of the game, and likely would have carried the ball on that final down, but because he got hurt, benefited Ken Dyer for the touchdown. Did you know all that?
Well, there's a lot of stories, 50 years is a long time ago, but I knew we were out of timeouts, and if we ran the ball and got stopped, we wouldn't have had another chance.
You're right.
So we had to throw it.
Right.
But he made a great fake on that play.
Yeah, you sure did.
Yeah.
You sure did. What a victory that was. What are you doing now?
Well, I'm retired. After I left the schools, I worked in construction for 20 years, and then about 6 years ago, I'm completely retired, and I'm enjoying it.
And he's too modest to tell you that he's an accomplished musician and composer and performer. Am I right on all three counts?
Well, I don't know. I do a little music and do a little acting, and I've enjoyed that too.
Yes, and he's done a marvelous job in that regard. So thank you, Coach. We appreciate you being here, and I know you want to get around and talk to everybody.
Okay, Dale.
Thank you. All right, this is Tom Morrow. Tom was the captain the following year, co-captain, and a starting center.
Right, yeah. And Kent and I, your brother, were great friends, and he was the punter and I was the center for punts.
That's right.
And it's one of the greatest disappointments of my life is I actually centered the ball over his head one game, It was the most embarrassing thing I can remember. And from then on, I think Bill Wood came in and replaced me because they couldn't trust me any longer.
Now tell us what you're doing these days.
I work for the university. I've been working for the university for about 37 years as an administrator in the Department of Pathology at the University Hospital. So I've been blessed to have a job in Ann Arbor and be able to stick around and do things and keep in touch with guys. So it's been wonderful.
Oh, that's great. So you're one of the few guys still working?
Yeah, I'm still working because as long as they give you money, I'll take it. So.
And what about your brother John? He was a big star.
My brother John, played for the Cleveland Browns for a long time, and he's still living. He's like 79. But he's got new knees, you know, and hell, that does a wonderful thing to keep you mobile. And I played golf with him a couple weeks ago. So
where's he live, here?
He lives in Wisconsin, near Lake Winnebago. So it's been great.
Great family. Now this is your heir apparent over here.
No. He carried me.
Oh, he carried me. All right.
Tom Morrow and Tom Rathman carried me.
Well, Bill's distinction is he was the only sophomore on this 62 team, and I asked you earlier if you felt a little bit intimidated being the underclassman.
Well, just a little bit, but it was really a treat to. I'm quite serious. Playing between Tom Morrow and Tom Rathman, I could make a lot of mistakes and nobody would know.
Now, were you surprised? You obviously started on the JVs, I'm sure. I mean, you didn't start right out on the varsity, did you?
Well, truthfully, it was the first day of practice.
No kidding.
At the end of the first day, I was fortunate enough to get moved up. So from then on, yeah, it was with the varsity.
Had they kind of known about you earlier? I mean, some of the football exploits in junior high.
Who knows at that point? But I was very fortunate. I had no idea what we were in for in the 1962 season.
Well, Bill, tell us about your life since then.
Well, graduated here, graduated Michigan, and did a little grad school work at Michigan as well. Married a classmate, a high school classmate, Pam Ufer. We moved around a little bit, but by coincidence came back here about 10 or 12 years ago. I can't remember. We have 3 sons, one of whom actually played with the Ann Arbor Huron High team that made it to the state finals about 12 years ago or so. So 3 sons, we're proud of them all and having a great time.
Now I have to ask you, does Pam ever say to you, "I can't believe my amazing blue eyes"?
Well, things like that. Yeah, between Pam and her brothers, we do hear that.
Well, good luck to you. You're a great guy.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Jerry Hartman. Jerry, you know this, I think, but I'm going to tell you in case you don't. You're the first person to score a goal for Ann Arbor High School in hockey.
I didn't realize that.
I remember. I was there and I saw it. The first person. But we're not here to talk hockey. We're here to talk football. Now, tell me about your memories of that 62 season.
Well, I got out to a rough start. I broke my thumb early on the season. Didn't come back and play till about the middle of the year, and then played the second half of the season. But I remember that it was a close-knit, tough group that continued to fight. We weren't very big, but we played disciplined, hard-nosed football. So
now you were what, behind Menifee in the pecking order, as they say?
Yeah, I followed Chuck as quarterback the next year. Yes,
yeah, right.
But I played defensive back when he was playing quarterback.
Right. And tell us about your collegiate career. I mean, and then coaching.
Well, you know, as you know, I went on to play football at Michigan, and I played hockey there.
Oh, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I went into taught high school for 2 years, and then got into college coaching. Started at Kent State, and I've been to 8 different universities throughout the country, and I've scouted in the NFL, and so I've been in football about 45 years of mine, so it's been a long time.
What keeps you busy now?
Well, I just retired. I am working out, playing golf, and traveling quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, you look like you're in pretty good shape.
Well, I try.
Did you ever run into John Peterson? John is a scout for the Carolina Panthers.
I knew John, yeah. I only scouted for 1 year. I hated it, so I was real close with Bill Belichick. His dad and I, when I was coached at the Naval Academy, were very good friends. So he said, try it, and I tried it and said, Bill, this ain't for me.
What was your longest tenure then in coaching?
I don't know. Let's see. I was at the Naval Academy 2 different times.
Wow.
You know, I was there and took another job, and then they hired me back a little later, a few years later.
Is there 1 or 2 things in your sports career that just stand out above the others?
Well, I was fortunate enough to coach some great football players. You know, I had Jack Lambert when he was getting started as a linebacker, and you know, I've spent a lot of years throughout the recruiting throughout the country, and you know, had been fortunate to play in most of the big stadiums in America. And you know, it's fortunate enough we were able to beat the #1 team in the country 4 different times in football, so including Michigan.
Oh my God! Look at this. Well, now where are you living these days?
I live just outside of Annapolis on the opposite side of the Chesapeake Bay, a place called Kent Island.
Do you get back to Ann Arbor at all?
I get back once in a while. There was a stretch there where I didn't get back very often, other than to play a game or something like that. But no, my parents passed away, and so when they passed away, I was not coming back as much as I.
Good luck to you.
Well, thanks you for having me.
Good afternoon to everybody that's come for the 1962 reunion of the Ann Arbor Pioneer 1962 State 6A Championship football team. Congratulations to everybody for winning and also making it to your 50th. Now, this is probably the first reunion that's ever been had in Ann Arbor that didn't include Facebook. And if you don't know what Facebook is, don't worry about it. It's a pain. I want to thank Ray Pittman. Where's Ray?
He's out in the front.
So Ray's out in the front. It was Ray's vision 3 years ago to try to create some continuity for the returning teams coming back, with the big thing being the 62 teams. So he started this idea 3 years ago. He's brought additional friends in to make this all happen. My name is Mark Quigley. I'm with the Pioneer Football Booster Club. I'm here to help host Tony Bertoia with the Football Booster Club. Mayor Creole's grandson, Mike Creole, right over here. My first wife, Amy, right here. And only wife. And John White, who has, I've gotten more emails from John in the last 3 weeks than I did from my wife, my team, and my boss.
He wouldn't answer any of them.
So here's the schedule of things tonight. I'm going to be talking about schedule and process, and then John and Coach Jay will talk a little bit about the event. We have a special dinner for you, and as you're eating and hanging out, we've got the 1962 highlights from the season on DVD. The quality is absolutely phenomenal, and what's really cool is watching you guys play. It was a hoot. I watched it 3 times on an airplane. I never had so much fun on a plane in my life. What we want to do is we'll talk about with John White here and Chuck Wilkins. We talk a little bit about the guys and some of the people that aren't here. We'll have Mike Creole talk about his grandfather's citation that's posted up there on the wall behind Mike over there. And then the Pioneer Football Booster Club, based on our fundraising activities and some generous donations, will provide dinner tonight. Dinner tonight is the same dinner you guys had in May 1963 at your, it's left over. So whatever you guys had on May 5th, 1963, we tried to replicate it tonight for you guys as best we could. In addition to your 50th reunion, it's homecoming for the little boys and girls, and we've got a football game at 7 p.m. against Monroe. Our boys right now are 4-2. And on top of that, we have senior night. So after we get you guys up and running, the Booster Club needs to run away, and we need to take care of senior night. Moms and dad and the boys are going out. They get a photo, a keepsake for them so that they can have it when they turn 68. I know all your ages. I can do the math. I was born the year you guys graduated. So at this point, I'd like to have John talk a little bit about the team, and we'll talk a little bit about the DVD that's been created.
Anyway, welcome to everybody. I think all of you probably got one of the emails I sent to all of you. Obviously, Mark commented on that. And thanks for everybody showing up today. We are going to do a couple things. There are a couple players that couldn't make it here tonight due to illness. And one is Tom Lovell and one is Tom Rathman. So we are going to sign footballs, all of us, everybody here, sign footballs, and we're going to give them to them tomorrow and the next day or so. So please make sure that you sign the football before you leave. There's actually going to be 3 footballs, but so sign all 3. We're going to do it right before you start in the buffet line. So you can't get any food unless you sign the football. So Chuck Holtz, we know you want to cut in line, but you're going to have to sign first.
I was a student at Eastern. I needed to make money. I started cleaning buildings at night. I went to 65 employees in 6 months.
As Mark was mentioning, there is a DVD that's going to be played. Jay has been gracious enough to do a voiceover, which is fantastic. The first one that was done 25 years ago, or at least for the 25-year reunion, was a VHS beta or something or other, if you remember that. You do? Okay. And it didn't have a narration to it, so it was the same football song played over ad nauseum. So anyway, this one's much better. Jay did a voiceover, and the football music has been removed, I'm proud to say. So anyway, with that DVD, Jay's graciously donated all these DVDs to all the players. So everyone's going to leave tonight with a DVD of that season. So you can all take it back home and see what you did do right, and also see what Jay will comment on, like the game films where we didn't do anything right. Other than that, I don't have any other announcements to make. We do have a full schedule, so we're going to try and keep it on schedule. We do want to mention that Gary Ulmer joined us today. Ray Pittman, who is out in front, he graciously found Gary a few days ago and went over to Detroit and picked him up and brought him here. So hats off to Ray and hats off to Gary for being here. And there are people to really thank. Mark Quigley, who's done a fantastic job. I didn't know Mark until about a month ago, and now I think he's like my brother. Yeah, you're much younger brother. Mary Tobin, if she's here anywhere in the room still, she's done a fabulous job. I can't tell you what you're all going to be given tonight, and stuff that will be probably mailed out later. Art Vuolo, who is a classmate of mine, is videotaping this. He's going to be taping the entire reunion, so you'll see him around. He may be coming up to you to ask you questions. If he does, please do not slap him in the face. So the reunion DVD will be put together, and then that'll be mailed out to you as well. So you'll be getting a lot of stuff. We're not going away, in other words. You're going to be pestered by us for a long time. With that, let's turn it over to Mike Creole. He was a member of the '83 team, if I have that right. So he played football also. So we will certainly listen to what he has to say.
It's great to see you. I even have family as part of your team. My uncle is Chuck Wilkins. So we had the Wilkins family and the Creole family blended together, and I kind of kicked out. I also have been very involved with the football program. I had Mark's job the last 2 years and had a chance to work very well, or very closely with Ray, and doing a lot of alumni functions. It's great to see you here. There's a proud tradition in Ann Arbor, and it started with you all. And Ann Arbor High, and even though we have now 3 high schools that have sports teams, 5 total high schools, things have changed, right? And yet this is where it's all begun. And we have great pride in being pioneers, and thank you for your leadership in the past. You know, what's interesting is my grandfather was mayor from 59 to 65, and I don't know if you all were paying attention at the time. Being high school students, you may not have been. There was a lot of things going on at the time. And you know, you look around Ann Arbor today, things like, you know, the big urban renewal discussion was big. They were about ready to demolish most of, you know, what from north downtown all the way out to Depot Street as part of this whole urban renewal thing, and thankfully that was vetoed by my grandfather, and now it's a very thriving neighborhood still. US 23 hadn't been built at the time, and it was also planned to go through downtown, where Business 23, which is Washtenaw and out, you know, Main Street, and that, you know, was lined up and you know, circumvented downtown. So it's kind of neat to see some of these things that, as we stand here today, that were impactful then. The new city hall was you know, approved and then being built when you all were in high school. So it's you know, now that's also been renovated in the past couple years. Another thing, and talk about small worlds, I think you all know Kelly Ray. He was a year older than you, right? So my grandfather Cecil Creole when he came from New York State. He just applied to Michigan and he got in, and he showed up on a train. And on the train ride, he met Bud Ray, who's Kelly's dad. And Bud helped my grandfather find a place to stay because they didn't have, like, you just kind of showed up. You had to figure it all out on your own at the time. Found him a place to stay, found him a job waiting tables, and then he became a very entrenched, proud Ann Arborite and eventually mayor. And so, our families, I've gotten to be pretty close with Kelly the last couple of years as well. So we're all family. And again, you can see this on the wall, but on November 13th, 1962, my grandfather as mayor proposed and the city council passed a tribute to you, to the Ann Arbor High School football team. Witness, the Ann Arbor High School football team has had, where's Obama when I need him here, a successful season and won the championship of the 6A League. And whereas this team is now in the forefront of consideration for the state football championship, and whereas this team has shown its extreme desire to win by never admitting they were going to lose, even up to the last minute of several games, and thereby exemplify the maximum in team cooperation, spirit, and sportsmanship. And whereas by winning this championship, they have brought honor and glory, not only to Ann Arbor High School, but to the city of Ann Arbor. Now, therefore, the Ann Arbor City Council wishes to commend and congratulate the Ann Arbor High School football team, their coaches, the athletic staff of the high school on this very fine season. We also further congratulate them for setting a goal which will be held as high example of fine teamwork and will be a challenge for all future Ann Arbor High School football teams. Cecil O. Creole, Mayor. Congratulations.
But Mike's related to like everybody in this town. All right, so where's Coach Jay? Coach Jay, this is your opportunity to talk about the team and the DVD and whatever you want to say prior to dinner.
Gentlemen, remember your assignments. Remember your techniques. Don't lose your poise. And let's hit someone. Little flashback. That's a little flashback. Well, my main thing I want to do here is just be sure that everybody on the list here gets their DVD. And my thanks to Ray Pittman, John Carver, and whoever made this possible to do the DVD. And my participation was really minimal. They did talk me into doing the voiceover, but and I hope I didn't slight anybody too bad. Except I want to say this right now because I didn't get it on the DVD. But Mike Thomas made an interception against. Come forward, boy. Is that Mike Thomas? Against Flint Central, and I gave him credit for it, but I did not give credit to Butch Bridges, who rushed the passer on that play. Sorry, Butch. It was number 74. That's about all I got. Thankful that Chuck Ritter's here and Pat Wilson and Ed Klum couldn't make it tonight. He's in Europe on a trip, but and Jerry Budzik no longer with us. But my gratitude to those coaches and all the players. There's some notes on here that. Tom Rathman was already mentioned. Some people had some postseason notoriety. Chuck Menefee and Ted Murray, who's no longer here, but were both named All-State. And Ken Leslie was All-Conference. And we just had a lot of good ball players. So The DVD is, you can see yourself, guys, 50 years ago. By God, you were quick.
So let's first of all thank Eve, our new athletic director, who started about a month and a half ago, and we threw all this stuff at her and said, don't worry, we're already in process. So Eve, you've done a great job with your staff. Thank you very much. To Mary Tobin, where's Mary? Mary. So ladies and gentlemen, everything you see and touch, if it wasn't thought of by Chuck, John, Mark, or Ray, it was done, physically done by Mary. So Mary Tobin, thank you very much. I think we have some cheerleaders here too. Raise your hands. All right. I tell you, watching you guys on the sideline, because you guys are in some of this video stuff. If you look real closely, you see the girls supporting the guys. For me, it was absolutely, like I said, it was the best airline stuff I've ever been watching. And there's some lousy stuff on Delta, let me tell you. So what we've also produced is this. Mary, can you hold up the blue book, please, first? The blue book? All right. Jay, if I missed something, please tell me. But this is Jay's scrapbook. And he told me at lunch about a month ago that he only kept one scrapbook his entire coaching time here in Ann Arbor. And it was your championship season. So he has, and it's unbelievable, it is Americana High School, 1962, caught in that scrapbook. And we thought, well, this is pretty cool. There's programs in there. A program was 10 cents back then. We have to give them out for free, you know. And we charge everybody $5 to get in. But here's what's really cool. I started reading it. I'm a history buff. And I said, this is probably, between the video and his scrapbook, it's probably the most comprehensive piece of American high school football in America today. So congratulations to you guys, not for reading the history, but for making the history. That's the best part. Now, so what do we do with the scrapbook? Jay brings it to lunch, or brings it to Chuck, and Chuck brings it to my house, and I say, I will not let it out of my hands. I will watch it. It's in my house. It's next to my wine. I value my wine. And within the next half an hour, my wife and Mary said, bring it, I need it, I can't, so I had to give it up. I felt like I was giving up my own children. But Mary took it to a printer and had every article reproduced. And all of your lives are in here, bound for tonight, to go along with the highlights on video. So you go old school and new school. Her nickname is Mary Amarone, and if you like Italian wine, she does. We both do. So what we'd like to do is make sure that you each get one, and I think might be easier. How do you want to do this? Do it now, and everybody has to hold on to their own. We're going to pass it out. One book, one DVD per player. So please make sure you get it. Maybe put your name in it so you don't lose it. And this is our joint gift to all of you. The dinner. Oh, Mary, Mary, describe the dinner.
Your dinner tonight is your last meal that you had for your last banquet together. So you're having Swiss steak, mashed potatoes, green beans, salad, and rolls, water, and coffee.
And for the next half hour, you folks are welcome to catch up. We'll play the DVD in the background. We'll keep the volume down. Just know that you've got a wonderful voiceover from Coach Jay. Just please be careful as you're walking around. We've made as many accommodations as possible, but this is kind of cocktail party-esque, kind of eat as you stand, rotate through. Looks like the boys are getting ready. We're going to have Chuck, or John, do you know who's going to talk to the boys tonight before the game? Chuck. So Chuck, your classmate Chuck's going to talk to these boys before they go out. They're 4-2. They're playing Monroe tonight. And Chuck and Harold Simons are going to go out for the coin toss. And we're going to announce that also. And then throughout the game, we're going to announce each one of your names. Like back in the old days when you heard it, you get to hear yourself again 50 years later. And in case you forgot, you played Lansing Sexton 50 years ago tonight at 8 p.m. So if you're keeping track of stuff like that. But please make sure that everybody connect, eat, and have a good time. And thank you very much.